Hey everyone, it's Maggie here. So I just wanted to introduce myself. It's been a long time since I have done a video, but I really wanted to more or less introduce myself in regards to the virtual art club that I'm going to start. So I'm just going to kind of explain who I am and what I've done over the past 5 years. So I kind of quit my job, my full-time job, and I went full-time as an artist. And so kind of self-taught myself to paint. And then I learned how to do paint nights. And by learning to teach paint nights, I learned how to teach people how to paint the way I did. And I explain things in such a way that it makes it very simple to understand. And that's where a lot of people have told me that I'm a very good teacher. So I just kind of run with it. So I have been teaching for approximately 5 years. So the way I teach is I explain how to do things, I show you how to do things, and then I help you. So you're like, well, how can you help me if we're just doing some like YouTube videos and stuff? So I am going to start a Facebook group. So for those of you who do want to join me on this virtual art club, you can just head over to the Facebook group. If you're working on something, you have a question, boom, just pop it into the Facebook group and we will all work on it together. The idea of an art club is there is not one person who is, like over anybody else. We work together. We critique each other in such a good way that it is helpful and not negative. That is the way I critique things, is I always give you a good thing that you have worked on, as well as something that you really need to improve on, or something that you can definitely do a different way to improve different results. So I'm going to be there for you guys. I know it's going to be really kind of difficult. We're going to work through it as best we can. I'm really good at kind of asking questions to see what you're doing or what kind of medium you're working in to help you through the process. So the first thing that we're going to focus on is we're going to focus on fundamentals. We're going to work in mostly acrylics. And the reason why I chose acrylics is I figured it's probably the cheapest thing that people can get their hands on. Probably from the dollar store, you can get it super cheap. I know things are going to get really tight over the next little while, but I'm going to give you guys different things that you can work in. So right now, you're going to be like, I don't have anything. I don't have any money. I don't have anything. That's fine. All you really need is a book and a pencil, something to write with. Not even just a pencil. You can use a Sharpie, you can use a pen, if you have, I don't know, something, write in something. What you are going to walk away with is you're going to walk away with a textbook, because even if you can't do it now, you can always do it later when things get better, because things are going to get better. We're just going to be hopeful for that. Excuse me while I take a sip of coffee. It's just who I am. Okay, so this is kind of the idea of a textbook that you're going to walk away with. I've always walked away with the premise of just make pretty things. So that's kind of my motto, is just make pretty things. So we're gonna make a textbook, but I want you to make it pretty. So this is a watercolor textbook, a watercolor notebook that I made for a class that I took. And this is where the concept came from, so we are going to take the concept of learning all these things. And this was all of like learning all the substrates, proper setup of watercolor, things that you need to do. And I just made it really pretty and it was really fun. So that is what we are going to do, is at the very least, you can make pretty notes. And heck, that is art all on its own. So the first, of course, the first thing that we're going to work on is in acrylics. So who is this class designed for? It is designed for anyone who wants to learn. So any age group, as long as you can follow and listen and pay attention to instructions, then you are the right age to learn. Okay, so then the next thing that I'm going to try to do is keep the videos down to about 20 minutes. It's kind of the idea that you need at least 20 minutes of practice every day to just get better. So that's the idea behind this, is it only takes 20 minutes. And might be sequential videos of working on a different or the same project, but it might be just 20-minute intervals working on one project for continuous weeks. So that's how we're going to do this. Things are going to be, we're going to do the best we can. So then I'm just going to kind of explain some of the fundamentals that we're going to work on, and these fundamentals will apply to any medium that you want to learn. So whether it's acrylic, oils, watercolors, mixed media, they all apply. So fundamentals are fundamentals, and that's what I teach. So we're going to work on paint control and brush strokes first. So that's kind of like we do a little bit of a education part of it, and then we do a lesson part. So the first part will be education and learning how to do the brush strokes, and then the next part will be maybe doing a painting and learning how to apply those brush strokes into a painting. So that's how I kind of have learned myself, and I find it's very helpful. So then that way you're not overwhelming the learning part, and then you're not applying what you learned right away. So the first course lesson is going to be brush strokes and paint control. Then we're going to work on contrast. So contrast is your light value and your dark value. And a lot of people don't understand how important that range is. So contrast can be in any color, and it can also be across the color wheel, and we'll kind of get into it a little bit. We'll kind of cross it over into color theory a little bit, but we're more or less going to strip the color away in this lesson. We're going to work on black and white only. So if you have black and white paint, it's the cheapest thing to find. It's the easiest way to start. So that's the one thing that we're going to do, is we're going to just jump right into, after we learn the brush strokes and fundamentals, we're going to work on understanding contrast and how we need to get our darkest values dark and our lightest values light. So then after that, we jump into color theory. We're going to work on a really pretty beach sunset class. It's one that I teach a lot. It's really good to understand how to work around the color wheel, so that way you don't get mud, and we will explain how and why you get mud, because I know a lot of people are like, I'm not understanding why I'm getting the colors I'm getting. So this is a perfect class to understand that. So then we are going to get into, after color theory, we're going to get into line work and perspective. It is not my favorite lesson. I'm not gonna lie, I really do not like doing line work, but it is a very, very important lesson to learn. And even though I don't like to learn it and I don't like to do it, we're gonna do it together. So, and then after that, we are going to get into doing a still life project. So after we do kind of all these kind of smaller classes, I will do a bigger canvas on an easel, and you will be able to watch me paint as I go along, and we can kind of show how we're going to do that. So what I pick is I pick an organic object. So I always pick usually roses. It's just kind of my thing. And I usually pick a musical instrument. In this case, it's going to be a ukulele that I was working on with my student. And then of course this whole COVID thing, and we can't do lessons anymore. So anyway, it's kind of, I am going to give you everything I know all in videos, so that way everybody can learn, and it's easy enough, because even if you can't learn along with painting along beside me, you can at least make notes and you can do it later, because making notes will at least help your brain move forward, and we all need that forward motion right now. Okay, so the last thing I'm gonna say is I wrote this down because I'm really sucky at words, so I really wanted to make sure I said it right. So I'm just going to read why I'm doing this. So I'm just going to read what I wrote. I've heard so much about how the school system doesn't have great resources for art education. And now with funding cuts, I know it will be the first thing cut. So my goal is to offer free lessons from what I've learned over the years to help you become a more confident painter. I'm asking for donation in these hard times, and instead of charging for lessons, anything at this point helps. So donations are what I'm accepting to offer these free classes. So you can either send that money by donation for e-transfer, PayPal, or if you're not even really sure but you really want to make a donation, you can always email me, and all three places that you can do those things are through Maggie Mylow at hotmail.com, and it's MAGGIEMYLOW at hotmail.com. Okay, so I had to write it down because I really do feel strongly that I feel that people really do need an outlet, and art is the best outlet at this time. And I really do want to offer what I know, and everybody says that I'm very good at teaching, so I will just do my best to teach the best possible way I can for you guys, and I will see you in the next video. See you soon. Bye.